We're live. We're back, baby. We are back.
We are. And to kick this off, this episode, Matt, look, I got tattoos.
No, you fucking did. What? So,
Yeah,
no, they're not real.
they are real.
How
Look,
many have you
look,
got? When the fuck did you get all these?
Ignore these blue ones because they're going to get done in the future, but
What?
I can't. There's an editing.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting this to be sprung on me. When did you?
I got them done on Friday. I've had it booked for the last 2 or 3 months, I think. So
You kept that quiet.
I did, yeah. So I got Spider-Man.
Is that like a
Spider-Man.
specific Spider-Man? Is that an into the multiverse?
It is an introvert. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I got the Blender Cube.
Nice.
I got an editing timeline, and then I also got Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet.
Wow. I can see. Yeah. Bro, so you went and just got 4 tattoos with.
There's 9. There's 9 that I'm getting, but we could
all
only
on
do
the same arm. You got to get some on the other arm.
It depends. There'll be
Bro, it's
future
gonna look
effects.
weird if you have 9 on one arm and none on the other.
No, because the whole point is that I want it to be sticker book, so like you have like separate tattoos but like dotted around.
Yeah.
And then I haven't done it yet, but there's a lighting and camera one on the back of my arm which still needs to get done. So there you go, man. That's a good way to.
Bro, you're retired as a videographer. You can't then get a videography tattoo.
It was a chapter in my life which I need to remember.
Yeah.
Only joking.
Yeah. So when's my face going to be on there? When? No. The real question is, when is there going to be a late Invoices tattoo?
Oh my god, mate. Well, if we design like maybe a smaller logo or something,
Well,
I'm not gonna get me and you
like
just like on my arm.
we should make a pact that if we get to like 300 or 400 episodes or something, then you get a tattoo of,
What?
something to do with the late Invoices.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, yeah,
but
but maybe by that point we would have designed something a bit more tattoo worthy.
friendly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
exactly.
I'm shocked. I'm shook. I didn't realize you were getting tattoos plural.
Yeah, man. I'm very happy with them though. Yeah.
Good.
But again, like I think we've spoken about it before, where I have always been like that. Maybe I want, tattoos. Maybe I want rings. Maybe I want jewelry. I don't know, and I just never got around to it. And I just thought, you know what? I'll just fucking book it.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
New Cameron Hall.
Yeah.
Love that.
So yeah, but it's kind of annoying you have to be really careful with it in terms of can't really put my arm down anywhere and.
Well, how long?
Like,
surely they're healed.
10
now,
days.
If you had them
10
done
days.
on Friday.
10 days.
Oh, 10 days. Jesus.
Yeah. So I have to wash it and then moisturize twice a day. So I just have to wash my arm in the sink like twice every day and moisturize.
Does Steph like them?
Yeah. She loves them. Made me more attractive. That's not her words, my words, but I'm just like, yeah, definitely.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So
Well,
start the episode off with a bit of a
surprise.
Love that, surprise
man.
there. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's fill the listeners in. So, guys, obviously you haven't heard from us in probably 3 or 4 weeks. Basically, Cameron was in Bulgaria and didn't have very good internet service. And we essentially had a mini holiday, mini break.
Yeah.
But Cameron's back now. Cameron's back in the homeland. He's back in Blackpool.
Yeah.
Cameron lives at the top of Blackpool Tower. And yeah, so we're back to recording, back to a regular schedule. We've obviously got loads to chat about. What we've been up to, what Cameron's been up to. I mean, he's just surprised me with some tattoos, so God knows what else he's going to surprise me with on this episode. But no, it's great to chat again and get back into the rhythm of the podcast. It's felt weird not doing it, man. Like,
I know,
just setting up the camera and everything there, even though we've had 3 or 4 weeks off, it feels like it's been about 6 months. So
yeah, I know, and also we have like a guest that we've recorded that goes out next week. but yeah, it's been like a weird like intermediary, is it? I don't know what it is, like a pause in the middle.
Interlude is the correct word.
Interlude, yeah.
Yes. But you make a good point about the guests. So, guys, if you're listening to this episode, next week we've got a guest episode coming out with Jono. Jono was someone that is a friend of mine, did a few mentoring sessions with him, and he's grown a lot as a freelance photographer, specifically in combat sports. And we thought it'd be great to get another freelancer on in their infancy, their first year of turning freelance, to chat to them and speak to them. But everything that happened and was said in that convo, you've got to remember, was basically spoken about like, over a month ago. So if anything seems a little inconsistent timeline wise, because I remember we spoke about some reel of mine that did well and some reel of his, and a lot's happened since then. So just for context, because we'll get onto that in this episode. But yeah, so no, looking forward to that coming out next week. But yeah, man, tell me, how was Bulgaria? Well, let the listeners know where you've been, firstly.
Okay, so I went to Bulgaria for 4 weeks, three and a half actually, just to meet my girlfriend's family, because she's from Bulgaria, so first time. No, so we've been together for nearly 3 years, and obviously they live in a different country, so there's not like a lot of opportunity to go out and see them. So had to do that. Probably similar in more ways, but also different in others. And like there's not when you're in a different country, naturally, internet access, things like that is a bit different. And yeah, man, it was hot. I don't know if you can tell, but I do have a tan.
No, you don't. You do not. You're as white as your t-shirt.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe this is making me look a bit darker actually. So, but yeah, man, like I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything else, but that was the main thing realistically, and just been carrying on doing 3D and learning, and it's been different to pick up new things. It's like learning like photography again or video, where you forget the things that probably our listeners are going through, but they're doing it in video or photo context. Yeah. And it's like, right, it actually is fucking hard to learn something and try and get clients as well and things like that. And you're like, damn. So yeah. It's just been a lot of that.
I feel like as well, you could do something and watch a tutorial and then do it, and then I come back to it maybe like 2 months later and I've completely forgotten how to do it. So it's almost like a case of repetition, right? This morning I literally had the same thing. I wanted to do something in Photoshop and I hadn't done it in months and months, and I had to go through and rewatch a tutorial again just because I hadn't hammered it into my head. So
learning's not linear. So I'm just trying to turn my camera brightness up.
That's down. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. But learning's not linear, and one of the things that's really weird is that you think you've sorted something, and then a week later you're stuck on the exact same thing again, and you're like, for God's sake. So in a way, you have to have like this grace and patience, and no expectation of, oh, I should know this by now, or oh, I spent a day doing this one very simple thing, and it's like, yeah, but if it took a day, that's how long it took to make it. Like, there's no like, oh man, I should have known better, or I should have done this, and I don't know, like a lot of patience. And it just reminds me that maybe that's what a lot of people who are listening are going through, where they're trying to learn, but they're also trying to learn how to get clients. They're also trying to learn how to like use a certain software, and it's like
you have to learn 1,000 things at once.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. And you do need time to do it as well. You need like, you might want to do something. You're like, damn, this is going to be 3 months worth of trial and error. Basically, it's like God. Yeah. And then you put social media on top of it. It's like, nah. Yeah. I sympathize with everybody.
Yeah. But so you got back last week, right?
Was it last week, basically. Last Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been working on 3D stuff since you've been back. Like, you told me earlier you've been working on the same thing for a few days, trying to get something right. Like, what are you creating at the moment? Also, I don't think we've mentioned it on the pod, your first YouTube video went out, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And for those listeners that haven't seen it, should go watch it. What's the YouTube channel called?
So the YouTube channel is just my name. It's just Cameron Hall. I'll link it in the show notes below, but it's basically just me authentically documenting what it's like to learn 3D, and also I'm turning away video work to do this stuff, so it is very much like a risk and I guess like a commitment, similar to, again, like what the listeners are doing, where you commit yourself to this direction and you literally have to figure it out and hope that you don't become poor and homeless before anything significant happens with it. But yeah, it's just authentic documentation of me learning stuff, trying stuff. then obviously like a few weeks later, I'm still getting stuck on stuff, and you see that as well. And what I'm hoping for it to develop into is when it is time for me to start reaching out to clients and implementing what I think is valuable processes or things to do, then you can see that, and a portfolio, and like this is a method of like what I'm reaching out to, and then hopefully if I do end up getting work, you can see exactly what I implemented to be like, look, this $5,000 project, this is the email I sent. You literally watch me send it live. Like there's, these things, and so it's just unauthentic, and it feels good to not be holding up this like expertise of like, hey, I'm Cameron, I've been in video for like 7 years. There's not like this.
I like
this
that
thing.
Yeah.
So
it's like, here I am, I'm starting out, here's my story, watch me grow and watch me like come along for the ride kind of thing. And I do really, really like that. Me and Yaz sat and watched the first video, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like it wasn't too long. It was just the right amount of time to like sat and engaged. And obviously I'm like one of your best mates, so it's hard for me. I feel engaged anyway, but I try to look at it from a perspective of like, trying to be someone that if I didn't know Cameron, I'd still be engaged with this video and think it's good, and the way you videoed stuff, etc. And obviously you're an editor anyway, so you were able to edit it really well. It flowed really well. So I'm excited for the next one. What are you building at the moment? I think you did say in your video what you're planning to build next, but
actually, I do have like a screenshot, so I might as well just share it. As
I want to know what you're
where
building.
are my screenshots on my desktop? What the heck? Do you know? I'll throw it up in the edit because it'll take me some time to find it. But well, right now I'm trying to focus on modeling, because if you are modeling, you can kind of make anything. And so imagine like animating, you still need the object to exist in order to animate it. But if I can model, then I can make whatever, and then I can turn that into an animation or a video. So right now I'm really trying to stick on the fundamentals of modeling. And what's difficult is there's a million ways to like model an object. So you might have like, as an example, you might have, I don't know, like a cube, and you can have the grid of the cube running one way, or you can have it running diagonally, or you can have it running up the object instead. But all of these things dictate the shapes you can make. So if you have a cube, but you want like a sharp edge through the top, you can't just do that randomly. Like you're
might
learning
need the fundamentals then, like the rule book of how everything is made.
And so, but those things matter, because you might, again, like I was saying to you earlier, you might get 3 hours in and realize that you should have started making this differently, and now you have to go all the way back to the beginning. So, and it's been really frustrating. Like I've spent 3 days on one thing that should be so simple. And again, it goes back to that gracing, right? Of you get to see me spend 3 days on something, which isn't a lot of progress for 3 days of work, and I'm still like, it's okay. This is part of learning, and hopefully that's something that is a reminder to not only myself, but anyone that sees it is like, like I think it can be easy to look at me and you in video and photo and go, God, they've got it all figured out, or oh God, it's so chill, like they know exactly what they're doing. And like even you pick up something else, and it was exactly the same for us, and it's a good reminder, really. Like,
and I think it's also a good moment for us to kind of probably touch on the fact that obviously we marketed ourselves as a photography and videography podcast, but Cameron is obviously has so many years of knowledge in freelance videography, production, all that kind of stuff, but it's obviously taking a different direction. So like and we had a meeting, didn't we, last week to kind of talk about the podcast moving forward. So for those listening, I think that from what me and Cameron have spoken about, Cameron's going to kind of head up this, tell his story about being a freelancer again in something completely new, and sharing his experience with that, and, reaching out to clients again for the first time in a new trade, and showcasing his journey in this new trade, and, how he learns it. But also Cameron's really, he's got his finger on the pulse when it comes to AI, the future. He's always reading about stuff. So I think Cameron's going to kind of spearhead this, technology, how that's changing, the AI stuff, and we were going to talk about some stuff today, I think, but kind of bringing in that side to it. So the business side, the AI side, talking about his own freelance journey, and then I'm obviously coming at it from a commercial photography standpoint, and still speaking about all the experiences that I'm going through on set. So
the clients and
clients and all that kind of stuff. And then Cameron's going to come at it at this other angle. So I just wanted to make that clear for everyone, really.
Yeah, because one thing I think is important is that when I'm doing this, there is no like expect, like it might not work. Like you might see me go, oh, I'm going to send these emails and I'm going to do this portfolio, I'm going to do this pitch deck, and then I might have no fucking work, and then it's like, okay, this stuff isn't bulletproof, right? Like the stuff that me and Matt talk about, like you do have to like change things as you try it, you don't get any work, so then it's like, right, let's figure it out. So I think it would be good for people to see stuff like that. And speaking of like the AI and stuff, oh wait, actually no, we need to hear about Matt. We need to hear about Matt.
He remembered.
Matt, you've obviously we've been catching up, and you've spoken about how you are killing it at social media right now. Well, and I
wouldn't go that far.
He's killing it at social media. He's killing it at social media.
No, the hard work is just paying off. The compound, when. So I think it's exactly. Was it last week? It was exactly a year ago. I posted that first reel that popped off, got over 1 million views, and it was that 8 things that you can do when work's quiet. And that's the reel that I talk about next week in the episode with Jono. Okay. Anyways, since that episode with Jono, obviously, in the last year I've been posting consistently, trying to do 2 or 3 reels a week, trying to show up in my story, and essentially I just think I'm now receiving the rewards for that compounding interest. So
yeah, but you've been getting better. Like your experience has compounded as well, and like what works and what doesn't, and different types of like content.
Yeah. So I've had 2 reels that have done really well recently that have meant that in the last 6 weeks my following has basically doubled. It's gone from around 20k, and probably tomorrow I'll hit 40k. So it's funny, isn't it? Took 5 years to get from 0 to 10. And then 10 to 20 was probably like, I think that was a year. And now I've gone from 20 to like 40, for example, in the last like 6 to 8 weeks. So like when you deep that, it's just like, it's a bit nuts when I say that out loud. Obviously, considering how long it took to get from, and obviously in that first 5 years, I wasn't posting consistently and, wasn't trying to grow my page. But the goal that I wrote down on New Year's Eve was to hit 50k followers by the end of the year. That was what I said. So, when me and Yaz sit down for New Year's Eve at the end of this year, we'll read back through our goals that we wrote down together last year and, tick stuff off. What did I achieve? What did I not achieve? And so, to hit 50k was one of them. And we're nearly there, which is great. Yeah. So it's kind of spiraled. But the one that's really shot up recently that I posted a week ago, I think I've gained like 7,000 to 8,000 followers in the last week alone, and that is, I had a reel that did well previously, and also I'm so big on recycling content, like people know. I took that same reel, and I was like, oh, it's doing so well, but obviously I don't want to post it again. So what I did was I changed the hook to a different clip that I know that does well for me on socials. Changed the hook, changed a little part of the text, like a few of the words. Same song, the video is basically the same, and I posted it as a trial reel. And a trial reel, for those that don't know, Instagram has this feature now where you can post a trial reel and it doesn't get shown to your followers. It just gets shown to people that don't follow you. So it's a great way of experimenting with content. If you're a bit nervous to post something and put yourself out there and you don't want your followers to see it, you can post it up as a trial reel. It gets shown to a new audience. Based off how that audience interacts with it will determine how, well that reel does and how many more people it gets shown to, for example. So I had this reel, this formula. It was basically jumping on this trend that had done well probably, 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I was like, right, how can I utilize this again? The trend is still running. Changed the clip, changed the text, reposted it. And I think it's on nearly 500k views now, but it was like the rate at which it's gained me followers is like doubled the last one, and it's pretty crazy really. So yeah
well, what stood out to me as well when we were talking about it last time was I said, how isn't that interesting that you can post something properly like to your main feed and then you can change it a little bit and then run it as a test reel, and obviously the test reel will only show it to people that aren't following you, so you can almost post like similar content twice and one of them is locked to only being shared to people that don't follow you. So it's almost like, imagine you had like a bucket. The entire bucket can now just be people that don't follow you, instead of it being like a little bit of people that are already following you and stuff like that. So, it's like
pretty,
2 bats at the same thing.
It's a bit of a hack, really. Like if you've got something that is tried and tested and does well, then it's like, right, well, I can post the same thing again, change a few things. Obviously, you can't post the exact same video again. I think the algorithm knows it's the same video and it will know. So, you know, change just a little bit about it, change some of the text maybe. But yeah, like if it's worked, because that's what I said. If it's worked and it's shown me to this whole new audience, I had an influx of followers come in, which means like my mentoring sessions have been busy. I did 5 last week, like so you know, that's been really good and I've been enjoying that. And obviously just more eyes on my page, more people visiting, more people just looking into the journey and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, it's been really good. So that's been a big win. And again, it like just been showing up and, you know, I like to say hard work pays off. So I think I'm now reaping the rewards for it.
Yep.
So that's been really good. And then shoots have been decent as well. I've been shooting a lot on the weekends because we've been doing this ongoing project with Sky Sports. So my weeks have been, I've just been kind of working from home. But yeah, like work's good. September is looking really busy. The second half of July was quite quiet. But like I say, I've had things to keep me busy, mentoring. Do you know what? I'm going to speak on something that I'm also releasing, and
okay. Oh,
I want to talk about London Camera Division.
Okay.
Because I haven't, other than friends, I haven't told anyone about it yet. But I was like, you know what? We're close to, you know, getting the samples back and all that kind of stuff. So I think I've been brewing on this idea for a year, but in my head, there's not been anything that's out clothing wise that kind of, you know, is built for our community as creatives, camera operators, all that kind of stuff. So I have signed off the designs, worked with a really talented designer called Elliot, and we've got 3 t-shirt designs that are ready to go. I've got the blanks in the office with me now, and I'm working with the printers to get them done. So I want to get them printed on, so I can start wearing them on the podcast, start wearing them in reels and on stories and stuff, just to see if people get a bit of a vibe and an idea for it. I've put the name London Camera Division, the Instagram page, it's tagged in my bio on Instagram, so if anyone wants to go check it out.
We'll put it in the show notes as well.
So you can sign up to the mailing list. So obviously these t-shirts are going to get released. And they basically say slogans on them that are like relevant to our industry. So on location, show me the mood board, on a recce, like all of these terms and slogans that if you're in our industry, you get it. I've basically taken a lot of these slogans and we've made really cool t-shirt designs. So it's just something that speaks to our industry, because I don't think it exists. Like, there's not a piece of clothing.
That was the thing that was so weird, though. That was so weird that, like, why doesn't it exist?
Or if it does exist, I just don't think it's been done well or in a cool way, personally. Yeah. So, or at least there might be something I'm not aware of it. So yeah, I've gone out and we've made this thing, and hopefully that'll be available in the near future. I'll see what kind of a vibe that the samples get when we start wearing them and start, you know, getting them in shots, and just seeing if people think they look cool, and if they do, then yeah, sign up to the mailing list. They'll be out in the future, hopefully not too far away. But I just wanted to build something that was, you know, for the community, and something that we feel like we could wear, that represented us, you know. So yeah, really excited about that. So that's just like another side thing I've been chipping away at. So
yeah, well, that's amazing, man. Has it been you know, because it's different from doing like a creative service, right? It's a bit more like, well, it's technically a product. Like, has it been like, oh, I didn't know that this side of life kind of like existed in a way?
I mean, it's refreshing. Like, I've always been interested in clothing, and when I was at secondary school, I printed my own t-shirts, Pearson Fitness. When I had my Instagram page, I was making t-shirt designs, like just all that kind of shit you do when you're 17, 18, and I've always been like really into it and always wanted to do something like that, but you know, never found the right thing for me. But I feel like now I found my calling. Now I know what my career is, what I love, what I'm passionate about. To be able to then create a product, it's basically like merch for, you know, our community in a way. That's kind of like how I'm looking about it. Like I was
going to say, I do want to make the distinction though. It's not the late Invoices community, it's like the creative industry community.
Camera community.
Yeah. Just to clarify,
Yeah, because I think that, just to make this clear, I'm not trying to start a fashion brand. I'm not trying to be like start a fashion brand. Like, everyone's fucking doing a clothing brand nowadays, and it's not for that. I just wanted a product that I could wear on set that looked cool. And it's kind of like, if you get it, you get it. It's basically on set inspired apparel, on set, inspired merch. So if you work in our industry, the slogans you'll know, the little graphics, the designs, all that kind of stuff, like it just works for the industry. So I'm excited. Like I there was nothing out there for me to wear. I wanted to wear something that was a bit more unique and cool that I could still wear out and about around town if I was going shopping, going for dinner, out casually. And I feel like the designs do match that, and they look good. I don't know if you've seen them. Have you seen the final designs?
I haven't. I've seen the designs that you sent me like months ago before you signed off on them, basically. But we all know that Matt's fashion sense is top tier. So for a fact if Matt is like I need like these things, and it's like, yeah, they look good. I'm excited to be able to share more, and like maybe see some images and stuff like that, or even if you do like photo shoots, and see stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be really sick. And also, I want one, so I'm there when you want to say
we can sort that out, Cameron. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I'm going to share share them with you, just so I can hear your reaction, and the audience can hear the reaction. Okay, so I'm just going to get these over to you now on WhatsApp.
Okay,
and then we'll see. And also just your general opinion.
Wait, let me like mono Matt.
So there's 3 designs, okay?
3
designs, and they are in your WhatsApp right now. 2.
Oh my god! Look at it.
2 colorways per.
Wow.
Design.
Okay. I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
You can describe. You can say like which is your best. Okay. But,
wait. So they've come through as a grid one, so let me flick through. So my favorite one is the on location one. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, same.
And what I like about is like it has like kind of like retro vibes, at least for me. Like it feels.
Yeah. So we took a lot of inspo from like retro sports brands, retro logos, retro race teams. Like I when I mood boarded. But obviously, being a lover of sport, that's obviously where a lot of inspiration came from.
I'm just reading some of the writing that you've got. It's really good.
Yeah.
I love the. I don't know what I can say and not say. So I'm going to say I love the other color as well for that same t-shirt.
Yeah.
I think that's really. It leans more into that like retro. I don't know. It's like, as you said, like the retro sports vibes. Like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, man. Yeah. That's super exciting. Do I get every single one? Like,
you can choose
or can I choose? Okay,
you can choose one. I like the white showing me the mood board one, and then I like the black and blue on a recce. But yeah, man. So we won't go too much into it because people can't see, obviously. So it'll be coming soon. All in good time. But drop a follow or just sign up to the mailing list on London Camera Division Instagram, and you'll be the first to access them once they do come out.
Exciting. I'll be signing up. That will be linked in the show notes, but I will also be signing up as well.
Nice. Thank you, man.
Even though I have direct connection.
Yes. But anyway, let's get into a bit of a topic. I know there's some things you want to talk about, and I don't want to, our first episode back to be me rattling on about stuff.
So we've never really spoke about AI on the podcast. Obviously, we've been well aware of AI and things like that. We've just never really touched on it because it advances so fast and new things come out all the time. And I don't know, I think there's a little bit of like this doom and gloom rhetoric around AI, especially in the creative industry. But what do you think about it, Matt, in terms of, just straight up, like, are you bothered about AI? Like, are you learning stuff? Are you trying to use the tools? Do you see it as a tool? Or...
Yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot. I actually pay for ChatGPT Premium now. I know you have for a while. I paid for it because I was using it a lot for like admin stuff, like helping with this, obviously, like t-shirt brand, like just lots of stuff. And I help it with my socials a lot, coming up with hooks, here's some ideas, keeping more ideas that are similar, blah, blah, blah. And I found that I was reaching the limit all the time. So I just, subscribed, paid for the thingy, and utilize it quite a lot. And I could definitely learn way more, I think. It hasn't creeped into my actual photography workflow yet. Obviously, there are AI features in Capture One and blah blah blah, but using ChatGPT in terms of, the actual coming up with an image idea, putting a mood board together, I'm still just using Pinterest. Put a mood board together, going on set, executing, and I want to keep that part as real as possible, obviously. But yeah, other than that, I'm not really using it and utilizing it. I'm seeing a lot online of how other people are, and I know that I actually watched the video that OpenAI released about their new ChatGPT agents.
Yep.
So I didn't finish the video. I think I watched like 30 minutes of it, of the software developers give an example of how it's used. I just need to figure out how I can use that for my own, brand, business, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of inspired this, because I think we're now reaching a point where once you have like agents and stuff like that, where you can send them out to do stuff for you online, that's where it becomes a lot more like, okay, this might be adopted a little bit more broader, and now we can talk about it a bit more.
Just speak about what an agent is and like what the new feature is.
Okay, let me share my screen because I actually have it. I have like the intro page here. So basically, if anybody wants to read, you can see it here. But ChatGPT now thinks and acts, and basically you can use it as a tool to send and do stuff for you, almost like an assistant, like a producer, maybe like an intern. So if you want to book flights or send emails or anything like that, ChatGPT will create its own virtual desktop in ChatGPT, and then you can log into your accounts on its screen, I guess, and give it access to emails or book flights for you or buy stuff for you. Obviously, it's super experimental, and in my experience, it's not super bulletproof at the moment in terms of, you might ask it to do something and it might take 5 minutes when it would have taken you like 1 minute. So there are stuff like that, but I think it just opens the door in terms of if you need to do a lot of outreach, you can ask ChatGPT to potentially find, certain people at the top 5 dentist companies. You can ask it to find like personal information on each of the owners of these companies, because maybe they have Instagrams that ChatGPT can go to, and then you can also ask it to curate emails and things like that. So it opens the door in terms of having, I guess, like an assistant, to put it bluntly.
And I think in our world that will be obviously super helpful for a lot of things, but I can imagine a lot of video creators, photographers being like, oh, I don't actually need an agent now, a photography agent. It's like, oh, I could use someone that, kind of gets back to emails for me. You set them onto different tasks, set them onto your outreach for you. Like, it's pretty crazy when you think about, obviously I don't know what it can do. In the YouTube video they released, they showed how basically they said, we've got a wedding, it's here, it's at this date, can you buy us and find us a suit, book us the flights, book us the hotel, this is our budget. And then it obviously went away and kind of did it all essentially, which is pretty nice to see.
We'll link that video in the show notes below as well. But yeah, I think it just opens the door for eventually this thing to be taken on, like way more generally, and especially now that it can do stuff for you, it's you can have multiple versions of them. So you can have one doing emails, you can have one doing research. And also, I'm curious, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, but I'm curious, how do you use ChatGPT? Because I didn't know this up until recently, but in the Plus version, you can use... actually, I've got an idea. Let me share this screenshot that I found. And basically, this is the different versions of ChatGPT. And you're supposed to switch... When you pay for ChatGPT, this is what it gives you access to. You're not supposed to use ChatGPT 4.0 all the time. You're supposed to switch between the different models based on what you want.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. No one ever said this. So, based on my research and everything, I've been coming across a bunch of this stuff. And this guy basically broke it down into regular 2025 English things so that we can understand. So you want ChatGPT 4.0 to be your daily driver, but if you're doing anything logic-based, like, you're setting goals or targets, you should probably use the Professor, which is ChatGPT 0.3, and that's
so how
logic.
do you switch between these things? Oh, I've just found them.
Yeah, but then, so if you look on the screenshot that I'm sharing, the one that says Deep Research and it's the Scholar, that's actually ChatGPT 0.3, but then if you go down to the chat box, there's like a deep research button on the chat box that you can activate. So then you're activating ChatGPT o3 with deep research, which means that it can access the internet, and then it becomes like an even more like super in-depth thing. And what I've found is that like ChatGPT 4.0 is pretty good in general, like it gets a lot of things right, but o3 kind of doesn't miss the mark. Like on 4.0 you might have to, like, after a long conversation, you might have to repeat a thing that maybe it's missed out, but on o3 it just remembers everything, and it seems to bring up things that maybe you haven't even thought of based on, like, oh, you want to do this 3D thing and you want to do it over 6 months. Oh, but by month 4, you might have to consider this. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, like I never thought that. So there's this element of, okay. Yeah, and by the way, mid-conversation, you can change to these different versions. So maybe you start off the conversation with 4.0 and then halfway through you want a different answer. So you change to o3, which can actually have a smarter
And it will keep the
thing.
chat all in one. It's still...
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
okay,
this
I
is what I
didn't know
mean.
this.
So when people were saying to me, oh, I pay for ChatGPT and I just find that the free version was just as good, this is why. It's because you're not using it properly.
And also, I was about to ask, so based on the graphic you've got up on the screen, obviously says like which ChatGPT is best for different things. Looking at that, I'm like, right, which is best for a creative then? You know what I mean? Like, which is best for visually, like, you know, putting together, say, mood boards, or you're trying to put a shot together, or it's trying to give you a picture. But what is not on there, but is on my ChatGPT is coming up, is the new ChatGPT 4.5. It's a research preview, but it says it's good for writing and exploring ideas, which sounds like the most creative.
It is on the screenshot.
Is that the Wordsmith?
The Wordsmith one, yeah.
Okay, so that'd probably be the best for...
Yeah, I did watch a YouTube video, and he broke down basically which one was the best to use in general for most things. Like, you know, out of all of these, you might use like these 3 the most, and I think it was 4.0, it was o3, and it was obviously the Scholar is actually just the research version of o3, so those 2 are together. And I think it was o4 Mini, which was the workhorse.
Fast reasoning, yeah.
Yeah, and it was basically between those 3 or like those 4, just because some of them, the o3 one might take like 10 minutes and you might get the same answer if you just use like 4.0, like the generalist. So there are pros and cons, and you know, it might seem like really logical and really like, oh, deep research, but then it's like you get the same answer if you just ask 4.0. So you do have to be quite specific, but it's good to know, because this is why ChatGPT is so powerful and why people rave about it, because it genuinely does do these things. And now that ChatGPT Agent is out, you can obviously pair it with different things. And by the way, it might take like 15 minutes to come back with some information, which is really interesting because it really dives into like the internet and figures out things and can make its own decisions properly, which is nice. Yeah, I think I don't want to get like too ahead because it could get really technical. So I'll just stop sharing that, but I think it's worth for like people to know. And again, like the YouTube video I watched, I will link in the show notes below as well. But for my personal view on AI, honestly, I think there's a lot of doom and gloom around it. I am not bothered one bit. I think that AI is coming for every single industry, regardless of where you work. And I think if you go, oh, well, I'm going to become more specialized and maybe I'll become an engineer. And it's like, yeah, but give it another 4 years and AI might have evolved again and made that job obsolete as well. Like, I think it keeps evolving so much that you might change, but inevitably it might also evolve to that point as well. So in my opinion, and I don't know, this is my perspective, but I don't think that, because it's hitting every industry, I don't think there's one answer, and there's no idea like what it's going to replace or if it's going to replace anything at all. So you might as well just do the thing you enjoy and just figure it out as it comes up. Yeah. Like, you might be doing something and you might use it as a tool, but in some other aspects of your job, it might become like, oh, it replaces me entirely. And it's like, yeah, but then just evolve with it, like, or move, or like, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, no matter what industry you're in, unless you go into something that you really don't want to do. Like, you might not be interested in becoming a doctor, but you're not going to spend 8 years going studying that, because in 10 years' time, AI might be even more advanced to where it could do some of those doctor things. So, you know, like, I think there's nothing safe, but I think that's also the best part about it, that you can just get on with things.
Part of me wonders if I've done well with the timing here, because last year when I had that really quiet period of work, and I was like, you know what, I don't ever want to feel like this again. If I want a family and we want kids and all that kind of stuff, I need to work my ass off. I need to diversify. I need to have more income streams. And that was the goal, which this year I'm working really hard at, growing my social media, trying to diversify my income, mentoring, whatever that looks like. And it's almost like, maybe that could have paid off for me, because, if photography starts to dry up one day because of AI, if I still have like my social media or maybe a YouTube channel down the line, or, mentoring for like photographers that are hobbyists or whatever it is, like maybe that was a bit of a blessing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that all work will dry up because of AI. Like it might not. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just going to keep working as hard as I can, and like you say, evolve to whatever happens. I think that I like to think that the world and the government and everyone on this planet wouldn't let it get to the point and everyone would revolt if everyone lost their jobs.
Oh, mate. We
But
have opposing opinions on this.
well, I know that it's the inevitable,
Mate,
right? But
well, I think it's the inevitable in a sense that obviously look at everything that's convenient to you. It will never go away. Like that, taxi drivers could have revolted against Uber. They didn't do shit. It just replaced them. So I think.
well, they just became Uber drivers.
And also, let's be honest, like you can't rely on the government just in general. No matter which party or anything is in government, there's always like things where it's like, they didn't do the thing they were supposed to, and also they'll find benefits with AI as well. So it's like, I think realistically, as you said, I think just get on with it and learn what you can and implement the things you can. And also, by the way, I think it's really easy but we're all going to have different difficulties. Some of us have families. Some of us have things where there is more worry than others. Like for me, I don't have a kid or anything, so I can easily just be like, oh well, we'll just pivot. But I just think it's one of those things where it's hitting every industry. So you might as well, no matter what career you go into, there's always AI going to be there in the back of your head, maybe. So I think instead of having expectations or hopes of what's going to happen, I think you should just have expectations of yourself that no matter what happens, you can also learn like a thing, or you can implement the tool, or maybe you can pivot as well. And that's the main thing to do. And don't think about it too much, honestly.
I just think that I feel like the government will have to bring in some legislations, all the governments around the world at some point, because if it carries on, no one will have a job. Like it could, if it can come for every industry and every thingy, and then imagine how much of a mess the world would be if everyone's suddenly like, oh, we're not working anymore. Everyone's causing havoc. Like, do you know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying by that, though?
I do see what you mean. I think based on by the way, I spent like 3 days looking through like AI all day, every day for 3 days. I went into like a really deep rabbit hole. And as far as I understand, and what I believe would happen is there will be like a period of time where there will be disadvantage. Like there will be people out of work. There will be people without purpose. Just, maybe that's in 5 years, maybe that's in 10 years. And there might be like a 3-year period of that. But then on the other side, and the best way I like to explain it is like you have the industrial age and then you have like the technology age. And there's this intertwinement in the middle where the industrial age goes down. Oh, wait, it might be this way, actually. Yeah, the industrial age goes down and technology goes up. And there's like this crossing paths where in the middle, people are like basically fucked on both sides because like people are having to relearn or their jobs are going out. But then on the opposite side, you want to jump on the passing train and go up. So, yeah, I think there is just inevitably going to be this period in the middle where for people who work all the time and their purpose is their job, what happens if like we end up in this utopia where no one has to work? And it's like, well, now we have the purposelessness. Similar to like social media where everyone's like got mental health problems. What about like the purposelessness problem? Like, what do you do when someone's like down? Like, and that brings in the idea of universal credit, because if you think about it, if companies can get rid of like a bunch of their employees, but they make more money because of AI, there's more money to go around. So maybe universal income, universal basic income, that's the word.
Yeah.
Maybe universal basic income is possible because companies are making so much money now that they don't mind throwing like 20k a year to every single person to have like a standard base of living. But then the problem is well, what the hell do I do now with my life? Because like I have nothing to do and I'm already supported. And then maybe it will become a bit more about like making your own purpose, like starting your own side hustle, or maybe just health and fitness and looking after yourself.
Yeah, but I
But do
just
we
think
want to live in a world like that? I
no,
don't. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think that's straight poison. That's
But
like
exactly.
for the
But I
for the
think,
brain.
yeah.
That's
But
so bad.
I think that there might be that's drawing that window, like that transition window of we're gonna have like maybe 3-5 years of like maybe people are figuring out what to do because AI is doing this stuff, and then on the other side we'll be like, oh, like I'll start. It's
I
hard
think
to
it'll be a
say.
longer period than that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Just because
Ultimately,
every year it's getting so much better and changing so much more, so the situation is always changing.
exactly.
So
There's nothing we don't know what to anticipate,
yeah,
basically.
exactly.
But yeah, I've heard a lot of doom and gloom, and I've also heard the opposite side of it, where we could end up in a world where like we're in utopia and we genuinely don't have to work. I think Star Trek is based off that. Like,
Yeah.
are you a fan of Star Trek?
No, at all, no.
Okay, well, basically, nanotechnology has been invented, so everyone who exists doesn't actually have any jobs. They do the jobs that they want to do. Because if you have nanotechnology, you can make a burger. If you want food, if you want more money, you can make money. Like it. So, and
Right,
if everyone has access to this, then why does anyone need anything? So then it becomes like Star Trek is a people in space exploring space because they genuinely are interested in that. So, is that something that we could head towards, where you work with cameras because you like cameras?
because you want to, yeah, and it's a hobby,
Yeah.
and you want to go out and see the world and
Yeah.
just capture life, and
And
yeah,
also, you might end up being more creative and more scientific and new discoveries because people are discovering things out of curiosity compared to I need to get paid.
yeah. Are
So
there
yeah, there's a lot of
any
things.
are there any good resources you would recommend for people that are listening that maybe think, oh, I'm probably sleeping too much on this AI thing, or myself included, or there's good, education and resources for using ChatGPT better or AI. Like, is there anyone on Instagram? Is there any pages? Like, can you just recommend a couple?
Yeah, I'll link a bunch of stuff in the show notes below. But what I did, I watched a few. There's one about the Godfather of AI, who's on the Diary of a CEO podcast, who is amazing.
Oh, I need to watch that. Was that
Yeah,
good?
oh, he's fantastic. Yeah, really, really interesting. And then there's also, I would recommend looking at other YouTubers who are using ChatGPT Agent to do their businessy things. So whether it's another photographer or whether it's someone that's just like, I was watching one guy that was using ChatGPT to research and make pitch decks and stuff like that. Using ChatGPT Agent, that is.
See,
And
okay, so how was he going about that? Out of curiosity.
well, so he was starting different threads, and in one he would ask it to. He wants to like find 5 top dentists in the area because he wants to make websites for dentists, and he wants to target people who already have websites because the people who already have websites clearly care about websites, otherwise they wouldn't have one. So he wants to ChatGPT to go out and find dentists in the area that already have websites, and then he asks them to find personal information of the owners of those dentists. So then when he emails those people, he has like, oh, I know that you're like a fan of NBA. I'm also I've also done work with NBA. I know you work in dentistry. Maybe we can do
Very
some kind of
clever.
yeah. And so ChatGPT could do all of that and then also draft the emails. Now, obviously, he did have to like maybe jump in and type in some information extra, but it's just interesting to like when I think of using ChatGPT Agent, I can only think of asking it to find clients. But if you do this research and you find references, you'll be opened up to, oh, like I could do something like that as well. Wow, this guy did it to start this like database, and it can also create spreadsheets of clients you've reached out to as well, which is what you've spoke about before. So
If I wanted it to help me create a creative deck, for example, so like a deck template for clients with like the idea that I want to shoot, the mood board and stuff, what would be the best way of me going about that?
So I'll try and find this video and link it below as well. But someone did create a pitch deck, and
Right.
what they did, they asked ChatGPT to create it, and then it did like a basic, version. It created its own graphics, all this stuff, and again, it's on the agent version, so you could see how it was doing it. And then it was, it was good, but like I wouldn't say that it was like client worthy where you could send it to
Right.
someone. So then the file that ChatGPT created, he then put that file into a AI presentation platform, and that other AI recreated ChatGPT's presentation into like a proper one. And then in addition to that, I think he also supplied, maybe 10 years ago, Airbnb were known as having the best pitch deck reference.
Okay.
So he pasted Airbnb's pitch deck into ChatGPT and asked it to create it based off this, and you know, so and obviously it did that. It did that in like 5 minutes. You know, so it's an entire pitch deck.
Yeah, that's wild. But they're the time-consuming things. Like, oh, can you write a pitch deck? Can you?
Yeah.
You know, like that's the real time-consuming stuff that you're just like.
And using ChatGPT 03 with the deep research, it's able to find accurate like percentages and numbers and things like that, so that when you are creating a pitch deck, you can, you know, have like, oh, this converted like this many people, and here's a bar chart to go alongside that, and yeah, you know, like there'll be stuff like that, but eventually you won't need to use multiple AIs to do that. You can just use one, and ChatGPT will probably be able to do it all.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that was so much brain power, bro. Like I suddenly got so hungry talking about all that stuff. But I do want to give like a final thing and say, like, you know, everything I said there about like doom and gloom and what's the future going to look like. I think like I'm in the same, but me and Matt are in the same boat as everybody else. With my YouTube channel, someone asked me in the comments, is it worth making 3D now because, you know, AI can just generate models? But I think the implementation and the workflows and things like that, there are parts of photography where it's like, oh, I can generate a photo, but what happens if I need to edit it? Or what happens if the client wants it a certain way? Or this, like, there's these other factors that kind of discount the AI. Like, there still needs to be a person. And I think, basically, that you need to just carry on regardless. Like, I think it's a waste of time worrying about the future or what's going to happen. I think
also life's short, right? So if we spend all of our time worrying about, oh, well, my job might not exist and this and that, like,
mate, yes, have the freelance has always been like that.
Yeah, well, have the ability to adapt and pivot when it's necessary. But yeah, if you spend all your time sat at home, like, fuck, like, the world's gonna end, my job's not gonna exist, like, what do I do? Like, you're just actually wasting precious moments of your life. You could wake up in 10 years' time and get hit by a car and it's all over. So, you know.
Well, yeah, but what else are you gonna do though? Like, if you think about it, like, you could go and get trained in something else, but then AI would also be in that industry as well. So unless you're going to become a plumber, like that Godfather AI on Diary of a CEO,
or
he basically said, go and become a plumber. What's that?
Or a wedding photographer. Like, people are still going to have, people are still going to have in life real person events, and AI isn't going to be able to, you know, capture their first kiss at the actual wedding because people want the actual moment. So, like, things like that are safe as fuck. Like,
I was talking to Kieran before this call, who used to work at GQ, and I think for the big companies, like, and by the way, I'll share this in a minute, but I think the big companies will really benefit from AI the most. But I think, like, most people don't really want to work at super big like agencies making like like social content. Like I think stuff like that. AI will be able to take up more of the process, but I think for most actual creative projects, AI will just be like a piece of it. There's also this AI MBA commercial. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Do you want me to?
Right, I was about to say, I think that brands that use it and put out an entire campaign that's AI based will be seen as tacky, because everyone that
sorry, I just nearly blew my head off. Oh my god, I just nearly blew my head off loading that commercial up. Jesus, sorry, carry on.
Everyone that uses it will, like, say, for argument's sake, say a brand like, well, the NBA, they release a massive commercial. There would have been stylists, producers, makeup artists, photography, videography, lighting team, talent, a whole list of people that would have been hired and paid for that, and they just get absolutely, like, not a penny. So I think everyone's aware of that. So anyone that kind of, especially big brands that definitely could afford to put a crew together and create something that's real and has real human substance, create something that's obviously AI, then yeah, that's my thoughts. But anyway, play this.
Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing this up, by the way, and you might have to let me know if it's too loud. I'll put it well. But I think that, actually, let's just watch and then I'll give my opinion. All right.
Indiana gonna win, baby.
We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on. I'm all in on OKC.
All AI.
Got that dog in him.
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20. How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year? Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S. OKC.
OKC.
So, what do you think about that?
Well, obviously, it's very realistic and very lifelike. I obviously know it's AI, right? But AI is getting better and better to the point where I'm seeing stuff on socials, etc., that looks so real that I think we see it because we have more of an eye for it and we're looking out for it. Whereas every people day to day, they'd think that's a real ad, which is obviously scary. So the tech's getting really good. The
reason why... Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was going to say that ad obviously required someone to put it together, and the amount of money that ad would usually cost, you know, and hiring crew and everything to video that kind of stuff, that's a lot of people's jobs that no longer exist, which is what sucks.
So this is what I'm talking about, where I think that this is going to be useful in certain areas. Is the reason why this AI ad works is because it's a bunch of different scenes, separate themes. This video, like, would be really expensive to produce.
Yeah.
If, like, you know, you're in a wrestling arena, then you've got, like, some fucking house party with an alligator. Then you're at the side of the road with a bunch of grannies. Then you're at, like, Magaluf or something, a beefer or something. And so all these things separately would be very expensive.
Yeah.
However, the reason why the AI video works is because it's all different shots, different themes. If you tried, oh, yeah, mate, can you cut to the different angle of this boxing shot? Good luck. You're never going to be able to make it look exactly the same. At least, obviously, not for a couple of years. And so the reason why these types of ads work is because it's all different, separate shots. Things don't need to look the same. There doesn't need to be any super consistency. So I think this level of production is worthwhile for AI for companies because it is separate shots. But as soon as you want to make something a bit more coherent, AI is like, well, suddenly it can't do it. So...
Yeah, no, I hear that. Yeah. That's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah. And this only came out a month ago, by the way. Right. The NBA Finals ad, which is crazy. Yeah. So... Oh no, where have you gone? Sorry, I'm trying to stop sharing my screen. There we go.
I had a meeting recently. I think this our final point to wrap things up because we'll be hitting an hour. Okay. I think that, well, I had a recent meeting recently with a modeling agency, and I actually brought up the fact that obviously H&M and a modeling agency have sold the rights for the models to have like an AI created campaign with their faces. So I brought this up in this meeting. They basically called me and wanted to chat to me, talk about some potential personal projects. And I brought this up, you know, what your views on AI and stuff. And they were saying, from what they've seen as an agency that, you know, works internationally and in the UK, that the things that they think will go first, but be affected the most is like e-com. So they were saying now we've seen e-com video of an image. So the model has their photo taken with the clothing on, and then there's an e-com video that's created via AI of them walking and just like turning with it on, so you can see it on the web browser.
Short form, yeah.
It looks scarily good. Like, so people that are doing e-com photography, e-com videography, like he was like, the guy I was in the meeting was like, there will be no industry for that anymore. But like big campaigns and stuff, he thinks there'll still be an industry. But that kind of photography and stuff, that'll die real quick. And I can see that happening for sure. Yeah,
that's a really good point, actually, how, you know, you can also shoot pictures and then AI can turn it into a video, even if it's just a short clip. Yeah. So, yeah, again, like that's the part where it's like AI might take certain aspects of video or photo, but it might not be able to take other stuff. So I think it, as you said, it really depends on, you know, if you are working in that space, maybe there's a certain area of your work, like maybe a few clients that you've got that maybe you won't need, or maybe you need to offer more to in the future. But stay diversified, basically. Like I always say to people, you want a few retainer clients, like maybe 1 or 2 retainer clients, and then all the other clients should be project based, so that you can jump from one project to another. And maybe this is just another example of that, where maybe you should have some clients that are retainers, some that are certain project based, and then if there's any people that are in e-commerce, maybe you should try and keep those projects a little bit looser, just because that is an area where AI is looking to take up more of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting, mate.
I know that we want to end, so I'm going to end it on a looser thing. There is an additional story that I wanted to show you. We'll just take 2 minutes. So do you know who Jakob Owens is? He owns PrismLensFX, and he also owns Tropicolor.
Rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah. So he recently came across an advertisement that stole his images. And obviously he's massive in the industry, like he's done a lot for the community and stuff. Yeah. And he came across this ad. So he messaged them and said, hey, just to let you know, like, these are my images, can you remove this ad? And the person running the ad doubled down. I'm going to share my screen because I've got it actually right here.
Right. Oh, so this has nothing to do with AI?
Oh, no. This is just a separate story to end on.
Okay, I needed more context there. I thought
okay. Let me give more context then. So basically, Jakob Owens came across this ad on Instagram.
Okay.
And he noticed
I thought
that
it was an AI thing. Got you.
Yeah, it's these filters, like this other company is selling these filters and they're using his photography to do it. Jakob Owens in the comments says, how are you going to use some of my photos and my company's photos to promote your knockoff PrismLensFX filters? And the guy replied and said, don't come at me, this is my company and the content I'm using is my own photos. I shot, edited and own the rights to. So before throwing around dumb accusations like theft, maybe check your facts. And then in the DMs, which you can't see in this post, Jakob Owens says, the reason why I know that these are my photos is because the woman in the photos is my wife. I shot those pictures of her.
Oh, so it's Jakob Owens' wife?
Yes, yeah. So
I thought you were saying the other guy was saying it's his wife.
No.
Oh, damn.
So this guy was like, no, these are my photos. And Jakob Owens is like, no, it's not. That's my wife. What are you talking about?
Some people are fucking
Mate,
wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I thought that was a funny note to end on. And you can see like the write-up here on the right as well from Jakob Owens, who posted on his Instagram. But it's just crazy how, like, you know, there is that stuff out there. Yeah. Like bro trying to say he took photos of your wife. And I just thought it was hilarious. So yeah, good, funny thing to end on, and
it was good to chat, good to get an episode in the bag. If you guys have listened, we really appreciate it. I might have bought a new camera by the time we next speak, Cameron, but I'll leave that for another episode.
Since the last episode, you've got your Tesla now.
Oh my god, we need to speak about that as well.
Right, guys, time to end the episode.
Yeah, we will end the episode, but in a future episode, whether we record one later in the week or obviously the next one that comes after the guest, we'll talk about the new whip. I might have bought a new camera as well.
Okay.
So we'll go from there. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. If you made it this far, we apologize for the break, and we are back to normal schedule now, and it's good to be back. It's good to chat. So we'll see you in the next one.
Yep, and guest episode next week.
Episode next week. Enjoy.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Peace out.
Bye.